This particular topic is finding the roots of a quadratic equation with leading coefficient greater than 1. So we need to get our quadratic equation equal to 0 in order to find the zeros, find the roots of this equation. That just means where the graph will cross the x-axis. Because my y squared is positive on this side, I'm going to go ahead and subtract 7y from both sides. So I have 0 equals 5y squared minus 7y minus 6. We can go through and do all the guessing and checking and everything to find our two factors of this quadratic. So I'm going to show you a way that I do it when the coefficient of y squared is greater than 1. I take that first number 5 and I times it by the last number to get negative 30. And then I write the quadratic without the 5. So I have y squared minus 7y, and I'm going to put here minus 30. When I multiplied the 5 and the negative 6, that's where I got the negative 30. Then I factor this one. To me, it's a lot easier to find two factors of negative 30 that will add to negative 7. So one of them will be negative and one of them will be positive. So let's see, we have 15 and 2. That won't work. That would give me 13. We have, what else gets 30? 6 and 5. That would give me, 6 and 5 would give me 1 if I subtracted them. What about, gosh, so I tried 6 and 5. That doesn't work. 6 times 5. 15 times 2. That doesn't work. What about 4? No, 4 doesn't go into it. 5 times 2. Oh, 10. 10 times 3. That would work. So 10 and 3. If 10 were negative, when I added 3, I'd get a negative 7. So we have minus 10 and plus 3. Now we have to remember that we took that 5 off. So we're going to take that 5 and we actually put it underneath each of those numbers. So our actual, what do you call it? Factors are y minus 2, because 10 divided by 5 is 2, and y plus 3/5. I like to leave it that way because I'm looking for the zeros. But if you're actually factoring, you would take that 5 and put it in front of the y. So it would look like this: y minus 2 and 5y plus 3. So this is what, like if you were just factoring and you're not finding zeros. But because we're finding zeros, I'm going to set y minus 2 equal to 0 and y plus 3/5 equal to 0. So I'm going to have to add 2 to get y equals 2, and I'm going to subtract 3/5 to get y equals negative 3/5. Those are the two answers that they're looking for. So we're going to type in 2, and then we need a comma, and we're going to type 3 divided by 5. Negative. Oh gosh, we need a negative. Thank goodness I double checked that. There we go. And we're going to do 1 or 2 more. So we need to get, if you remember, we want to set this equal to 0. So we have 9x squared minus 30x equals negative 25. So we're going to add 25 so that we can get a 0 on the right side. So 9x squared minus 30x plus 25 has to equal 0. So I'm going to times 9 by 25 and then rewrite x squared minus 30x. Okay, so let's think about this. 9 times 25. Think of quarters. If I have 9 quarters, that's $2.25. So this is plus 225. Boom. So because it's plus and we're timesing, we're going to and we have to add and get a negative number. I know both of them are going to be negative. So let's see. Oh, I know 15 times 15 is 225. And when I add a negative 15, that'll give me a negative 30. Sweet. Then we need to remember to take that 9 and put it underneath. That's one thing that we want to make sure we do not forget. We can divide 15 and 9 both by 3. So that would give us 5/3. And since this is squared, we really only need one of them to be equal to 0. So x will be a positive 5/3. So that's what we're going to type in, just 5/3. So sometimes you'll just have one solution. And that's when you see the parabola sitting on an axis. That would be only when there's one solution. Okay, let's go ahead and just do one more, simply because these are so much fun. So we have 5w squared. We're going to add that 16w and add 3 to get 0. 5 times 3 is 15. So I'm going to write w squared plus 16w plus 15, because this is way easier to factor than trying to figure out what number goes in front of w. Plus, oh, it has to be 15 and 1 so that they'll add to 16. So we have to divide by our 5. This is very important. 15 divided by 5 is 3. So w plus 3 has to equal 0, and w plus 1/5 equals 0. So our solution is a negative 3 or a negative 1/5. And that is the end of the lesson.